Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk My Hero Academia chapter 175. Man, that was explosive, huh? Jeez. Okay, so yeah, this chapter of Hero Academia just kind of turned into the biggest confrontation we've had for the last couple of chapters. I think, well, I would happily say that I think this was relatively hard to predict. I don't think this was a sequence of events that people could have predicted happening very easily. Like, heck, man, I thought Gentle was going to go uncontested. You know, aside from like small little hindrances here and there from like maybe the UA security, I thought that Gentle would go uncontested until he got to the UA gates. So, ending off this chapter with a direct confrontation between Gentle and Izuku, very interesting and very exciting. Like, I'm totally game for whenever things happen in a way that, you know, isn't exactly the easiest thing to see coming. That said, I'm looking at Izuku's picture now and I have it on the screen. And like, his art looks kind of different. Something about this face looks kind of different. I don't know if it's the shading or something, but he seems... yeah, something... I don't know, man. Like, that art's throwing me off a little bit. Anyway, before we get into it, let's acknowledge and appreciate how much things had to go wrong in order for Izuku to be in front of Gentle right now. Because I do think it's funny. Just because I think, was it last week, maybe the week before, if not last week, we were talking about the sequence of events that got Izuku to seeing the video of Gentle. And now this week we had another like big amount of events that had to happen for Izuku to get in front of Gentle. And I want to preface that I'm not trying to destroy it. I'm not trying to like be overly critical here. I just think it's funny and I just want to acknowledge it. So for this event to have to go down, we had to get a lot of things. We had to get the rope being frayed because Izuku was helping Aoyama with the rope rigging stuff. That had to get damaged. Then we needed Momo to not be around so that they couldn't repair the rope right in that moment. Then they also had to throw in the extra justification of not treating Momo like a factory, even though this kind of thing, Momo, that's what she does. She'd be totally fine with it. Then you had the extra point being pointed out by Kaminari just to say like, hey, that's not fair. You guys treat me like an appliance all the time. But anyway, we needed that event to go down. Then we needed Izuku to be rushing out of UA because he took too long. Then we needed Izuku failing to find the rope at various places. And then we finally had Izuku crossing the guy. And then well, actually, no. After that, the characters' unique characteristics kind of take over. But just the sequence of events that had to work in order to get Izuku out of that door and in the streets at that time in the morning, I find it funny. And, you know, on a bigger note, serendipity is the friend of most shonen manga authors. When you look at a lot of the events in shonen manga, serendipity plays a really big part. Of course, serendipity in the context of the world, just in our context, we know that the author just has to do all the things to make the events work. And at that point, it really becomes a question of whether or not the justification for the events that happened, is it good enough? Are you okay with it or are you not? Like, this is one of those points that you could criticize and like make some discussions about, but it's funny. It's funnier to just see how hard this guy had to go in order to make this happen, because you had to throw in all the things about the timing where they're starting at 10. There's one hardware store that opens around 8. It was very funny. But all that, you know, it makes for a situation that makes the thing hard to predict, because there's so much serendipity getting involved in there and so much new details popping up in the last minute in order to like justify the event happening. You really can't predict this. You can do like a broad strokes prediction, but you know, if anyone did predict this, though, let me know, because I will give them the props. Okay, so moving into the chapter, I'm really excited about the Gentle stuff. But I'm just going to think if there's anything else in the earlier parts that's worth talking about. And really all I can say is just, it's overall pretty nice just seeing all the characters having fun with what they're doing. There's one note that I had for the slice of life stuff, and that was specifically coming from a Kirishima and a Shido thing. We have Kirishima talking about how nice it is when someone really likes what they're doing, that they can really get into it, and you have the panel shot of Ashido. I think that's really nice. Ever since we've had the flashback, the Kirishima and Ashido shots are getting more prevalent, so I'm totally in for this. I love it. I like that Kirishima is, or I like that the author is able to make Kirishima say things that are now linked in context to Ashido. I really enjoy it. Super awesome. Any other parts from that slice of life that are really good? Well, you still have Jiro being cute and adorable. She's still getting a lot of really focused shots along with Ashido now. So it's very interesting. Like, this arc has turned in to focus on Ashido to some degree. This is definitely the most focus she's been getting in general, because she's really leading the charge when it comes to that part of the team. And then Jiro's also still having the focus on her. It really makes me curious as to how things are going to progress from here, because it does seem that there's going to be a central focus on these two. Jiro more than the other one, but I just, with Izuku meeting the villain, I want to see how bad this is going to go. And another little note that was really nice is, of course, Aoyama and Izuku are hanging out a lot. Like, it's cool to see Aoyama sitting right across from Izuku as they work on stuff. And it's cool that Aoyama's so happy about his friendship with Izuku. Like, that's cool, man. We had character development and it's still being maintained. Like, this is one of the good aspects of Hero Academia, where you have the characters consistently recognizing the things that they've gone through in the past. You know, Todoroki and Izuku have a pretty good dynamic with it, but Aoyama here is like really doing well. I don't think I will ever forget him again on the relevancy chart. This is just like kind of heartwarming stuff. I really enjoy it. But yeah, let's see, anything else for this first little bit? No, it's just the kids being happy, and then the next part was just Mei giving Izuku the equipment. I'm pretty sure that by the end of the chapter, Izuku still has the equipment on, I think. So that's going to be pretty cool, because we're going to see what it is that Izuku wants to do against Gentle. Pretty clever on the author there. I'm very happy he like snuck that in there. So Izuku running out of the place with the gloves. I'm so excited. Because like, no man guys, think about that, right? He got the gloves the day that he meets the villain, and now he gets to show off the gloves. Like, that's so cool. I do, you know, I appreciate the extra little bit that the author did there. Anyway, so now we're into the Gentle part, and these are all the things that I really want to talk about. So this was a very tense confrontation, especially when you have that one panel of the black background, the two just kind of staring each other down. Good on the author for making a relatively simple meeting into something so big. And I think one of the things that is helping this a lot is really what Izuku's saying at the end. He wants this to go without a hitch. So, you know, again, this is one of those things where Izuku coming up or being able to deduce who this man is really is only possible because of because of his lucky strike, pretty much, when it came to finding that video. If Izuku had not found that video in those earlier chapters, this would never have happened. And like, the circumstances for the video itself, I still believe is very shaky. Although, like, you know, that's whatever at this point. It's just, someone mentioned it in the comments last time. Like, the video there is clearly for the purpose of allowing Izuku to know who Gentle is when they actually do meet. And we do like see that panning out here. And like, at that point in time, that's without a doubt. I don't think that should be a question in anyone's mind. That video only happened because we needed this meeting to happen. That said, oh, I have another note. Someone in the comments last time mentioned that Izuku might have already known about Gentle before he watched that video, and I didn't think about that possibility. So I just want to like give the props to the guys who mentioned that. That was a very good idea, and I feel pretty dumb for not considering it. But I get tunnel vision when I'm talking about chapters, so not surprised. Anyway, we're now in the circumstance, and it is pretty cool that Izuku is figuring out what's happening. He's figuring it out based on the tea. He's figuring it out based on the way this guy acts. He's figuring it out because this guy talked to him too long. It was just a pretty interesting little talk between the two, and it's just cool to see both of them figure out who the other person is and getting freaked out about it. Although Izuku gets a bit more worked up because he's a bit more invested in this. So this is like one of the this is like, I find this to be an interesting situation. So let's first acknowledge that Gentle is in the wrong here, right? He's automatically in the wrong. He is trying to break into a school with semi-malicious intents. We know that it's self-grandizing intents. He wants to become popular. He wants to do a big job. And he's also justifying it on the side with UA has horrible crisis management. This will like serve as a wake-up call. So he's going in with those motives. And Izuku's motives here are entirely selfish. Mind you, when I say selfish, take away what the negative connotation of that word. I mean selfish as in he's more invested in this and he's trying to like keep what he wants to happen, right? So what I'm trying to convey is that when it comes to Izuku, he has vested interest in allowing this event to be successful. Like, Izuku's not thinking about the state of UA when he's thinking about this. He's thinking about the state of the teachers who are working so hard and the students who are working so hard to make this work. So what we ultimately get with this confrontation is, you know, is this going to be resolved right at the beginning? Is Izuku going to be able to fix this situation and just have the rest of the festival go without a hitch? And in that case, if the rest of the festival goes well without a hitch, you have all the slice of life moments getting their, I guess, fulfillment. The only other thing that can happen in this scenario is that Izuku gets put down for a while and then Izuku's out for a good couple of hours. Because right now, the two meeting here could be pretty anticlimactic depending on how this confrontation goes. And really, the only way to allow Gentle to get through Izuku at this point, I think, is to have Izuku be knocked out and then have Gentle go uncontested for at least a couple of hours. And then have Izuku come back to point out that there's someone trying to get into the school. But really, given that we have this meeting happening, it's going to be relatively hard to predict what's actually going to go down. Now, going back towards the morals of the whole situation, you know, Izuku has, and I was thinking about this, if he uses his quirk outside, I was thinking it was going to be illegal, but Izuku has a provisional license, so he can act, I think, under the authority of that license. But Izuku, as an element of UA, you know, he has every right to stand in front of Gentle after figuring out who he is. But like at the same time, I kind of want to see Izuku fail, just because I want to see. Because I do think that Gentle has a point when he says that UA has horrible crisis awareness or crisis management. I want Gentle to get a shot at breaking into UA, because then if he breaks in, it sets a precedent for UA, or it tells UA that they aren't the best thing in the pond, right? And right now, the way I see Izuku, I'm interpreting him as someone who is protecting the overconfidence of another person. Mind you, because Izuku is an element of UA, if Izuku thwarts Gentle, like, by proxy, that's UA thwarting Gentle. So I really want to see how this is going to go down. I want Gentle's message, his idea about UA's crisis management, to go through. And I want to see him actually confront the UA as a system of defense. I want to see that happening only because I want to explore the possibility of UA being put in its place. You know, for lack of a better word. And on the flip side, for UA's thing, you know, UA isn't, you can say that they're not really in a point of overconfidence. You can say they're in a point of, like, they understand how bad the situation is, but like heroes do, they have to rise above the situation. Heroes have to do better than the cards that they're given, right? To like make most situations work. I think that's like the philosophy UA is going in. It's just, this is the situation where that philosophy can be easily misinterpreted by the masses. So UA not only has to talk the talk, they have to be at the point where they walk the walk. And if Gentle is at a point where he can overpower UA's countermeasures, then that's important, because I'd rather it be Gentle who shows that shows UA that they're not good enough, rather than it be a malicious villain. So this confrontation with Izuku, I am putting a lot of weight on it, because I want to see Gentle actually get to testing UA. As for Izuku though, Izuku's got 20% power when it comes to those flicks, plus whatever that machine is going to let him do. Izuku's standing in a pretty good spot here. The question's going to be the way that Gentle's quirk works. Because if Gentle... How do I say this? If Gentle's quirk attacks things on a non-physical basis, like if there's something else to his quirk that's not just physical raw strength, this is a problem for Izuku. Izuku and All Might, I think their weaknesses really come in when the quirks attack metaphysical qualities, because metaphysical qualities aren't something that All Might with his strength can easily interfere with. Although One for All has kind of shown that it can deal with some metaphysical elements like mind control, sort of, maybe, depending on if you take that sequence with the after images to be enough proof of that. And because One for All also involves invisible energy being transferred over distances, what with the way that the flame and the torch is passed on. Like, it does have the components, but to see whether or not it'll actually be able to interact with Gentle's quirk, I'm excited. And Gentle's quirk is probably going to get explored unless the author decides to just cut away from this fight. Anyway, this is pretty exciting. Whoever wins this fight is going to set the tone for the rest of the arc. So put your bets down below. Do you think Izuku's going to lose, or do you think Izuku's going to win? Yeah, this is going to be pretty cool. But yeah, guys, till next time, let's call it there. Have a great day.